Alongside Eric Kane, I'm Austin Price. VolQuest positional previews roll on with the secondary. A lot of question marks with this group. Now they got a lot of bodies, some quality bodies, but a lot of questions. Who will be the two starting corners? Who will be the two starting safeties? I think everybody expects Trayvon Flowers to have a spot. Jalen McCullough has been the starter for the last couple of years, but he's got some guys pushing him that are new to this program, and Wesley Walker and Andre Turrentine. And then at corner, what do they do? Warren Burrell, Alontae Taylor's gone. Yeah. Who is that other guy? Is it Brandon Turnage? Is it Kamal Hadden? Is it Christian Charles? Where's the X factor at with this group?
Yeah, I think the X factor right there, if we want to start there, is Christian Charles. I don't know where he's going to play. Can he play? He's a safety, right? Could he play star potentially? He repped a little bit of cornerback in the spring. I know the staff likes him. They really liked him last. I think he would have pushed for some playing time, or he was pushing before the injury there. So I expect Christian Charles to be playing somewhere, and maybe it's kind of a role a little bit dynamic when you need him here and need him here. I don't know. Maybe that'll be answered in camp. But regardless, we kind of talk safeties here. You couldn't hear anything bad about the two veteran safeties in spring. And I know it's spring, and I get it. They know this coaching staff. They know the expectations. But it sounded like Trayvon Flowers and Jalen McCullough both performed very well and met expectations in the spring. Now, their play's got to improve. And the hope is that a Christian Charles and Andre Turrentine and a Wesley Walker, if they're not starting, they will be pushing those guys to where if they're not getting it done, then they can easily go to the reserves where they couldn't do that last year.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens with Brandon Turnage. Yeah. Last year he had that one game where he started at star, was SEC Player of the Week, and he just didn't do a whole lot. He got injured, had that surgery in early December. To me, like he's an X factor because you just don't know what he's going to give you. For me right now, if you ask me who's going to start game one, I'd take Warren Burrell just because. I'd take Kamal Hadden. I'd take the two safeties you just mentioned, McCullough and Flowers. And then that star, I think that's to be determined. I think it could be Turnage. It could be Christian Charles. Yeah. It could be Andre Turrentine or Wesley Walker. I think there are some options there at star.
I think, and I've heard Brent Hubb say this countless times over the past couple of months, Tennessee's got to figure out who can play corner. You have some options. Christian Charles isn't a corner per se, but I think they feel good about playing him there if they need to. Brandon Turnage was a corner before coming to Tennessee, where he was pressed into action to have to play a little bit of the inside, and now he can do that. But is he going to start, repping every single day at cornerback? As far as the two starters, game one, I couldn't agree more. Just because a guy that struggled down the stretch, but he's been there, he's done that. He's played a whole lot of football. Warren Burrell might get the start early on, and I agree. Kamal Hadden, if healthy, I think he's one of your guys. But, where will Christian Charles play? Where will Brandon Turnage play? It's good to have options, but in spring when you had nobody available to play, you get all these guys back now. You got to start figuring out who can help where the most, and that'll kind of determine the heart of your group.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see because I think, again, Willie Martinez, if he's anything, he's loyal to those older guys, but only to a certain point. I think ultimately, like if Turrentine or Wesley Walker prove, hey, we're better playmakers,
I just think he didn't
some tough decisions will have to be made.
Absolutely. I felt like he didn't have the luxury to say, guys, now or never, you're going to get out, because he didn't have anybody in the reserves last year that could come in that he trusted.
Yeah.
The goal for this fall camp is to find those guys that you can trust, because at the end of the season, that it just wasn't good enough, right?
He is Eric Kane. I'm Austin Price. That's a look at the secondary for the 2022 season. Just a little over a month away, Tennessee will kick off against Ball State on that Thursday night over at Neyland Stadium. We'll continue to get you prepped right here at VolQuest.com.